Happy Friday, but actually recording on a Wednesday. It's a holiday week. Who knows what day you're going to be looking at that? Recap. This is episode number 173. Look at this, normal players. Maddie, how are you doing today?
Can you believe it? Normal player after a month. I'm doing well, Rick. Thank you. Hello and hello, community. Great to be back. Last week I was at Women in Tech in Amsterdam. It was a good event, but yeah, happy to be back. And I realized July I'm not traveling. How
Me
about you?
neither. Me neither. I'd
What's
have no, don't
happening?
tell anybody. It is actually very refreshing. I have a relatively quiet Veeam July and Veeam August, but it's
Yeah.
not looking good in October and November. It's going to be really
Oh,
bad.
yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah.
No travels for you in August? How come?
I have one small thing in August, but also my daughter starts university. There was something that was supposed to happen that week, but I'm like, look, I got to get her in to college and such. So there was going to be something, and it was out of the country, so it wouldn't have worked. It's not like in the U.S. where it could come back early or something. So um,
Yeah,
I
fair enough.
got out of that, and then I have another vacation. I'm like,
Well, that's good. You
I'm
deserve it. I mean,
I'm
you're working hard. You need
I'm
some vacation. It's summer.
turning into Michael Paul here. Oh, wow. But no, this is really refreshing. So you got me for a whole month, Maddie. So
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, Rick.
and
We
it's
work it
funny,
out.
we'll work it out. It's funny because Sophia said last month she was on the recap more than I was, and I thought that's hilarious. And that was like 2 or 3 for her. So she's like, "Yo, I'll take the break." But
Yeah,
Maddie's
that's true.
back.
Actually, she was
Yeah,
every single week in the
yeah,
recap, and it's
yeah.
it's great. I like having her in the recap. It's really good, and we had some members of the community as well. So it's good to alternate and have change, and people take breaks and all that. So I think it's a good model. I like
And
it.
by the way, if you watching this haven't seen the giggle episode from Veeam ONE, the end of that little recap, you got to watch that. That was fun. The giggles happen, and luckily you guys let them run and get recorded. But Maddie's back, friends, and she has a whopper of a agenda here. So I've already changed the plan on her, and I'll see if she catches what we're doing here. But let's
Oh
jump
my
into the content.
goodness.
So
Let's see.
yeah, so we got first up, our featured content is Christian. This is really cool. I have a lot of opinions on this.
Oh yeah, it's really great. And I don't know if you remember, but a few months ago, Chris got his OOTBI appliance, and he actually wrote an article on the physical setup and remote connection options. I think he's sharing as well the link to that article he put together. And then he's talking about the Veeam integration and OOTBI model, 64 terabytes, 128 terabytes. Basically, he's just giving a high level overview. And if I remember it well, he was having hardware issues, and he was like, let me find out what remote options are out there for like connections options. And yeah, if you haven't read that, I would actually suggest to start with that before you go over this article. It's a good overview, like as I said, like high level overview. But in this article, the focus goes more into the remote connection setup and with the intelligent platform management interface.
I
You
didn't
already
know that's what
mentioned
that
it.
stood for.
Oh my
IPMI.
goodness.
Oh, look
Oh
at
my
you.
goodness.
Like a Maddie
Great.
Wikipedia. Sorry.
Yeah.
Carry on. Carry
Madipedia.
on.
Madipedia.
Maddiepedia. I love it.
Yeah, so he's kind of already talking a little bit about it in the previous article. And here he goes on a low level demo right there. And if you used, ODB appliance, I would really like to hear either in the comments or just do another post, another article. Just let us know your opinion on that. That would be really valuable. A lot of our community members are already using the appliance. So yeah, overall, really good article in there, Chris. And you said you have a lot of opinions. Tell us about
Yes.
it.
We have one of these in the lab, and I use this as our backup repository for the demos that I did at VeeamON this year. And, these screenshots up until this point, the blue-gray is just the basic get set. But then right here, you're into the object first, out of the box immutability, which is what OOTBI stands for. And he kind of leaves you hanging, right? Because then I got to think, Chris, the next step is how you configure it with Veeam. But I really love this post, Chris. I was even telling the whole team on our team call, it's like, I've been using this for 2 years. I quite like it. So this is good storage. I really appreciate that. I got to think Christian is one of the object first aces. I'm not 100% sure,
I
but
think so. Yes,
yeah,
that's why he received the appliance
yeah,
actually, because they were kind of sending appliances to all the ACs to test it
yeah,
out. So yeah,
yeah,
I would think so.
yeah. So that's their a lot influencer program. And I'm actually very interested because if they're like a fan of Object First, they kind of have to be a fan of Veeam. And they identified
Yeah.
some people that we didn't know about. So we'll be creeping and looking those people up. But anyways, thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
This is a great post, and I gotta think more is coming. But and don't forget to check out this other one that he did as well. So good stuff. All right, next up is a guy named Jeff, and he's going Caston A to Z with the metal LB load balancer and external snapshotter. Holy buckets! This is detailed.
Yeah, talking about Object First, right? Jeff's community
Ah,
manager. There
look
you
at
go.
that.
But he's also a super star when it comes to Kubernetes. So this is like moving forward with his series. I believe this is the second article of his series. I don't know how many he's planning for, but that's pretty cool anyway that he started this series. And yeah, Caston A to Z. In this article, Jeff is discussing on how to install the external snapshotter and a load balancer. And Jeff got me with the joke, as you can see in the title. What does it say? I jumped in to correct it, but it was meant to be balancer, not balancer. So he got
Whoops.
me with that joke.
Oh, okay.
Then he actually explains it, and I was like, okay, let me just leave it as he wants. So yeah,
Okay, so
but
this is Jeff. This is
so Jeff,
incredible. So this
so
is
Jeff,
awesome. Yes.
yeah. But yeah, anyways, for those that don't know, the CSI external snapshotter sidecar watches the Kubernetes API server for volume snapshot content, CRD objects, and the CSI external snapshotter sidecar is also responsible for calling the CSI RPCs create snapshot, delete snapshot, and list snapshots. And Jeff says in here, this is not included in the K3S by default. So just keep that in mind. And then for the purpose of this exercise, Jeff is actually disabling the default load balancer in K3S, the service LB, as there is a multi-node cluster, and Meta LB is much more suited for this task. And I actually checked in the documentation, and it says like for exposing load balancer services, external load balancers can be used alongside or instead of service LB, but in most cases, replacement load balancer controllers such as Meta LB and KubeVP are a better choice. So now for this Meta LB load balancer installation, he's using Helm. He says that is easier than other choices. And he's taking us through a demo step by step, getting very specific to this task. So yeah, pretty good for the people that, are learning Kubernetes and they want to, start their way with that. I think this is interesting, but yeah, what I would do if I were Jeff, I would also like put these definitions in, because there are some people that might not know what all these terms mean. Like, because I know he's a pro, he knows his thing, but yeah, there are people out there just starting, or just maybe share some links to the documentation where people can find out some more information. But overall, really great demo. I really enjoyed it.
Fantastic, Jeff. And that for everyone watching, this was the first of the A to Z series, right? That goes in with Caston. And Jeff, if I were to guess here, if we take K3S, for example, it has a basic set of everything. You're putting in an external snapshotter and a load balancer for better of those. You're doing knobs and dials here. And I think, if anybody's out there building a Kubernetes platform, this is really cool. Especially when you're thinking about, low footprint, low code, no code type of things. You could really get granular, the knobs and dials. So keep it up, Jeff. The notorious KGG strikes again.
I think he also tells us what he's going to be next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the end of the
Longhorn.
Yeah. So anyone who wants to know more on that,
and if I understand, Longhorn is a CSI driver interface, right? So if I'm keeping up at home, correct, I think it's going to be a storage conversation next. So thanks for that, Jeff. All right, next up is Kirsten Stoner on the Veeam product strategy team. She has a great topic around monitoring HV backup policies with Veeam ONE. This was a really, really well-written blog.
I agree. I always say like Veeam ONE is one of those tools that we don't talk enough about it. And, I was actually putting like Veeam ONE in the search bar, and I am right. We are not talking enough about it. So, I challenge the community, talk more about it. I just don't see enough conversations, and it would be awesome to see more on this topic. But yeah, we always say like Veeam ONE is a super powerful tool. It's monitoring and offers some really great analytics, like for organizations, for individuals. And, like you can actually gain visibility into your virtual and backup environment. And it is now, is available on Veeam Data Platform Advanced Premium Editions. But in my opinion, this is worth every dollar, because honestly, it just gives you so much information. And in this blog, Kirsten discusses capabilities that Veeam ONE has when it comes to monitoring Nutanix AHV. And she's mentioning it as well in this article, but we mentioned it before that they have a community edition as well for Nutanix AHV. So, there's no reason for you not to take advantage of that as well. So, of course, the functionality has been with us since V10, but with every release, this is going to get better, enhanced. So she's discussing alarms, detecting critical events, reporting for Nutanix AHV, backup jobs. And I personally really like the workload protection history report. I think that's really valuable. It gives you access to older data, and, like by comparison with new data, older data, it can help you make some strategic decisions sometimes. So I think that's very valuable tool.
Yeah, I like to say about Veeam ONE that I guarantee you it'll tell you something about your environment that you didn't know, but you need to address. And I'm tempted to, this is motivational. You're right. We don't talk enough about Veeam ONE, which is part of the Veeam data platform. I'll give you a like for that, Kirsten. We used to do, just side note, we used to do the Veeam ONE catch of the day when back in the Melissa days. We used to have fun with that, right? And we would just be like every day finding stuff and sharing it. I would do a video, the retweets come up, but I would just find little nuggets and share it and stuff like that. I did it on Twitter. You can even see I was in the other office upstairs before I moved down here. Maybe I'll revisit that. I don't know, but thank you, Kirsten. That would be cool. All right, now we're going over to special department, and Madi, I think you did a fantastic write-up of the European Women in Tech Amsterdam, which is where you were last week. We'll let everybody read this, but just some comments on it. We'll look through some of the pictures here. How was it? This was your second year, yeah?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I mean, I'm very picky, as I said it like in the article. If you have it open, of course. I'm very picky with my content and with my sessions. So I will go just take, the pulse, see if I really think is going to vibe with me. And then if not, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm just going to look for another one, keep my energy for something that I find value in. So I attended probably about 10, but I stayed at like 5, I think, throughout the sessions. And I really, really enjoyed these ones that I wrote about. I found value in it, like the ladies, some of them were really good speakers. Some of them, they were just like starting up some businesses, and they were just talking about their experience. Some of them, they had like Grace, she has an amazing project with this pink chip that is actually an index. It's a like a still a non-profit organization, but imagine if that's going to be an index that you can invest in. And that index, it's actually showing that um, the the women that have a CEO, they are doing better that in comparison with some of the companies that are run by men CEO. So this was great to discover, and then talking about, just genuine conversations with ladies, and figuring out as well about these amazing Palo Alto networks, fuel user groups. I don't know if you checked it at the end of, I think it's at the end of this article. If you open that, they have a really great community as well. So I would definitely advise our community, because we have a collaboration with Palo Alto Network. So I would just advise them, go check it out. Maybe we can just also do some collaborations with them. It's fantastic. Like, I would advise every single woman to participate in one of these events at least once in your lifetime. I think you can learn so much about yourself. The vibe, the energy is very different from an event you would go, where it's like mixed attendance. So yeah, overall, really great experience. I would like to go and see other events as well, because as you said, this was my second time at this event, but I have not explored other events as well to see what's the value in it as well. So I would like to do that as well. But overall, amazing. Loved
Well,
it.
Maddie, first of all, thanks for writing this up. And, just for everyone on the team, I take this stuff very seriously too. Every lady on the team, I allow them additionally to get one, and I just call this professional development. This is really, I don't want to call it the unfair advantage, but it's an advantage that they can find these resources, find these communities, and come with broader professional development learning. I know Sophia is going to Grace Hopper again. So again, but yes, there's plenty of these around the world. Emily had a chance to go to European Women in Tech, a different event that they had in Paris. So just, congratulations that you had the chance to go there. I let everyone all the ladies on the team go to one of these a year. And I really let them pick, and so I'm glad you got to do that. And thank you for writing that up. You didn't know that was coming, but
Yeah, I didn't know that was
no, you didn't
coming.
know it was coming, but you
But
you wrote it
yeah,
up and you did a great
yeah.
write up. So thank you. All right. She's flexible, friends. She goes off script. Look at that. I love it. All right. Next up on the special department news, announcing in September the second annual hackathon with a new and improved logo. Looking good.
Yes, this is really, really exciting news, and definitely have to congratulate both Maurice and Jonah for all their hard work, because it's hard work. We've been having for the past months, we've been having bi-weekly calls, just step by step, getting it where it is today, and there is still a lot of work to do. And I also want to thank Tom, May, and Jos, that now they are also involved and helping out, supporting this. And yeah, this is going to be a little bit different than last year, in the sense that it's going to be a bit longer. It's going to start on the 26th, 9 a.m. EST, finishing on September 29th, 9 a.m. EST. So that was the feedback that we received, that we need a little bit more time. And yeah, if you want to register for this one, or you want to find out more information, Maurice shared the link in there to their website. Just go and check it out. That's like a thorough
It is a
website with a
thorough
lot of,
registration.
yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
is thorough. Yeah.
So, and if you have more questions, just go put your comment in here, or just DM Maurice or Jonah. They're gonna be happy to answer any questions. But yeah, I'm very happy to see that this year we are doing it again, and we are, as Maurice says, we are back, and it's bigger and better than ever. So yeah.
And yeah, they've made improvements over the years after some feedback of the first year. And one of the big things on that registration form, you can select what role you think you could be for one of the assignments, one of the teams. And definitely check it out. There's time. And Maurice and Jonah and then Jos and Tom, they're very approachable folks. Like, you know, you can message them privately here or out of the community and just kind of say, well, could you explain it to me? Could we do a call? They would do that for you. So, yeah, if you're not, if you're on the fence, reach out, or you could help out in other ways. But super grateful, Maurice, Jonah, Tom, Jos, to scale the event this year. Looking forward to it. I've got a personal conflict during, but my role will be, I think, part of the judging, which would be when it's done anyway. So, looking forward to it. But thank you, Maurice, for sure. Speaking of Maurice, next up, and Jonah, the Veeam 100 show coming up is Jeff. I hope Ian's all right. He was in the hospital. And then Jonah.
He was with malaria, and I think it just got back a little bit because yesterday or the day before we were talking. He was supposed to be with us in a call, and it just got back to it. I hope he's fine.
Yeah, he shared it on LinkedIn that in the hospital bed, he's waving like he's doing good and great care. But I'm like, whoa, that's scary. But hopefully Ian comes through. But that's one of the good things about a broad team that's assigned to a topic. I mean, if Ian can't make it, we can go on. But good stuff here. Building application backup blueprints with Canister. In fact, those blueprints are super important. I mentioned them a lot in something else, and looks like actually I'll be able to attend this. So I'm just going to go right there and do that. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's worth saying that this is going to be a special edition dedicated to Hackathon, talking about Hackathon. We're going to have July 11th, August 1st, September 5th, 3 editions dedicated to Hackathon 2023. What we want to do, because there were some amazing projects that were created during the hackathon. So what we want is to give visibility to those people that worked on those projects. So this is the first one in that series. I will be moderating it. Jonah, Ian, and Jeff are my special guests. And as you said, discussion about, Kubernetes application, canister blueprints. So yeah, and I think Jonah is going to give us some sneak peek on the Hackathon 2024. So
cool.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, I will be there. Thank you for arranging this. This is usually the first Tech Bites of the month, but tomorrow, the U.S. holiday, so that's why it's slid over 1 week to the 11th. But looking forward to that. All right, Madi is up again with featured content of the special department type with the blog of the month winner. And it looks like the first time ever we let an employee win or be nominated. Steve Hart wins.
Be nominated. We did not. It's not in our control to have somebody win. So it was, voted by the community. But yes, we broke the rule and we added Steve Hart. But I think Steve is always contributing, to the community hub and bringing so much value. So I think he deserved to be in this contest. And as you can see, it was voted with the majority is 9
37%.
Yeah, 37%. So, congratulations, Steve. You deserve it. And in the future, if we're going to have other employees that are going to contribute as much as Steve, they might just be as well in that contest. So it's probably not the last time.
Well, I
That's
can't think
what
of
I'm
anyone
saying.
better to have won it first from an employee than Steve Hart. Fun guy. Steve, rock on. Don't ever change. All right. Next up is looks like one of the Italian user groups are having on Friday an online event. Is that right? Well, I could translate it. I
Yes.
could do that. Where's my little widget? Anyways, but yes, I think that that's what's going on. Anyway, there
Yes.
it is. Translate to
That's what's
English.
going on. You are right. This is Friday. It's this Friday basically when this is gonna be out as well. So it's going to be 9 a.m. your time. That's gonna be probably
3
3
p.m.
p.m. for Italy. And we're gonna have Paolo, one of our vanguards, is going to be their special guest and is gonna talk everything Veeam ONE, all
Nice.
updates. So this is great. It's great to see Paolo involved with the VUG. So great job. Love
No
it.
lab, no party. Love it. That's the
Exactly.
coolest name ever, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Paolo, for doing that. You check that out. And since it'll be online, we'll have a replay. I'm pretty sure that we can link to probably next week, or at least on the Veeam YouTube forever after.
Yeah.
Two things I wanted to raise on this week's recap. Number one, both the Veeam Backup for AWS and Veeam Backup for Microsoft Azure products took an update to 8 on AWS and 7 for Azure. Yep, I got that right. And a couple of new capabilities here. Let me find here the release notes for AWS. Here are the new things: Redshift, FSX, extensions for improvements, and imageless deployments. That's cool. And then if we take the same look over on Veeam Backup for Azure, close my tabs because my Teams thinks it's right on top of that. What's new? Cosmos DB. A lot of people asking for that. Virtual configuration backup copy, imageless protection, workers in another tenant. One thing I'll highlight, this is a very clear example of shared technology across the Veeam Backup for Cloud products. They're all very similar. They just talk to the different sources, and you can check that out in the recap. We will put the links to these KBs. You can check it out. So good stuff, good stuff. Lastly, Sophia
One
has
more
prepared
thing.
one more thing. I didn't forget. Who's new? We are happy to welcome 58 new people this week. I like this one, Bismax IT. That's cool. Couple of funny names in there. I wonder what that one's about. Rude S. Well, please be nice in the Veeam community, but whatever. Welcome everyone. And Sophia picks these on her own, but these are the two coolest usernames she's identified. Capt.byte, I like that, and Hashtonic. That is
Yeah,
our
really cool.
cool usernames. And the Alfred's pick, which just means a badge is coming your way, goes to Foster the People. Love that one. So welcome everyone. Some of these names, it's just funny what people create. But Madi, including the part I went rogue, featuring your own content on European Women in Tech. Thank you so much for curating the content here this week.
My pleasure as always, Rick. You know, I enjoy it.
And I'll be able to be back in normal circumstances this week. You said you didn't have any travel, so there's a chance.
I don't, yeah.
Awesome,
If you
awesome.
don't have it, then next week will be in the same
The
circumstances.
same circumstance, and you never got to see the beard on the recap, but last week, oh man, that was some scary stuff.
I did see it because I watched the recap, so
I
yeah.
don't know. It's LTO, limited time offer. It's over. So I don't think I'm ever going to do it again because this part was too like white and gray, way too much salt and pepper. So it's just not to be done. But anyways, all right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Sophia, for the Who's New. And we're scheming a whole bunch more stuff through the summer, but we'll see you next week on 174.